Hey guys, what's up? Coach Matt Magnum here, talking about the workout for Monday the 18th. Happy Martin Luther King Day. We've got Movement Pattern Day. Okay, so if you've been following, this is a pretty short explanation on what Movement Pattern Day is. If you have not been following, then the main thing you need to know is that we're emphasizing movement patterns over any particular exercise or muscle group. Long story short, if you hit all these movement patterns over the course of a couple days or whatever course of the week, then you will include most of the muscle groups that you need to hit. Okay? So emphasizing movement patterns over any particular exercise or muscle group. I should have put this at the top, but the movement patterns, like normally, squat, press, pull. Okay? We did some lunging last week. If you want to replicate that again, you can. Again, it's the squat pattern. So like a lunge would be a one-legged squat, but still, squat pattern. Then we got presses and pulls. I'm a little out of order here, but the emphasis, movement pattern day. Last time we did a strength emphasis. Today it is muscular endurance. So that means we are emphasizing quality, high reps versus the lower reps we did last time on strength. Probably going to be using more body weight exercises. If you can get really high reps with resistance, and if you want to squat weight for 20 reps, you can, but that is awful. But hey, kudos to you if that's what you want to go for. But mostly body weight exercises. You can do straight sets or you can do a circuit. That's fine either way. If you want to just do straight sets of high rep squats until you're done with that and then move on to your push-ups until you're done with that, that's fine. If you want to do a circuit where you do some squats, some push-ups, some pull-ups and rotate through, that's fine. And remember that pulling is going to be the most difficult one to get a lot of variety out of. For the most part, pulling body weight exercise is going to be pull-ups. If you have an adjustable bar, you can modify that. Again, if you have a small amount of equipment, you can get by with a dumbbell or a kettlebell or a resistance band. But yeah, otherwise, I will probably be doing some kettlebell swings to substitute for the pull. That's not truly a pull. But it is a nice thing for a circuit. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I might do some pull-ups or I might go back, finish my circuit, and then do some additional pull exercise. I don't know yet. But what I'm probably going to do is 10 push-ups, 20 kettlebell swings, 30 squats, and I'm going to go through that for rounds. I will do at least 5 rounds. I do have 10 rounds in my head somewhere. I'm not going to push for that, but if I feel really good, if I get into the groove, I'll see if I can get to 10. But as long as I get 5, I will stop at any point that I start to feel it becomes counterproductive. So we'll just see what happens. But thanks for following, or thanks for watching. Follow the page for all kinds of free daily workouts, workout tips, information, diet stuff, all kinds of stuff. So follow the page. Like, share, subscribe. I appreciate it. And if you got any questions, comments, concerns, or results, put them in the bottom, and I'll definitely get around to answering it. So appreciate it. And later. Hey guys, what's up? Coach Matt Magnum here, talking about the workout for Tuesday the 19th. It is a conditioning day, okay? So yesterday we did a movement pattern day with a muscular endurance emphasis. So today is conditioning day. So remember, whenever we're doing conditioning day, this is the one where, I'm giving you options. I'm not giving you specific workouts on these days. I'm giving you a variety of things that you can do and then letting you pick. So remember, there's nothing magical about any single conditioning day. If we're just trying to be fit, we're trying to lose weight, we're trying to look good without our shirt on or in a dress or whatever it is. So there's nothing magical about any one given workout. It's the consistency over time that's important, and that's what I want to emphasize to you. So what's important here on these conditioning days is getting your heart rate up and your perceived level of difficulty. That goes back to hard is relative. As long as you get that heart rate up for 20-ish to 30-ish minutes in the beginning, depending on what you're doing, and maybe occasionally 30-ish to 40-ish minutes as you get in better shape and just for occasionally for longer distance stuff. As long as you're getting your heart rate up and your perceived level of difficulty is high for you and your skill level, then that means you're burning calories, you will be getting in better shape, and as long as you're following the principles that I'm giving you, you'll be doing just fine. So, some of your regular constant options, these are always options for your conditioning day. You can drag the tire, okay? You can do steady cardio, whether that's a walk, a power walk, jog, run, whatever, whether you're at the gym on the stair stepper, walking on an incline on the treadmill, recumbent bike, rower, 30-minute aerobic class if you're truly getting your heart rate up and it's a good perceived difficulty for you, all of the above, and you can do circuits as well. We talked about the major movement patterns, so you can do your movement patterns in a circuit, which is what I will be doing because I was going to do that yesterday for muscular endurance, but I'm going to do it today with a little twist that I'll talk about in a minute. So these are always options that you can do. But one thing I would like to challenge you to do, if you would like to mix it up, or if you need something a little bit more difficult, some version of that done in intervals with burpees. So if you've got to drag the tire, maybe you drag the tire for 4 or 5 minutes, and then do a minute of burpees, and then drag the tire for 4 or 5 minutes, and then do a minute of burpees, and do that for your 20, 30, 40 minutes, whatever. 20 to 40 minutes, most of the time 20 to 30, occasionally 30 to 40. Same thing with the steady cardio, whether you're doing the bike, the rower, treadmill, all that stuff can be done, 5 minutes on, do a minute of burpees, 5 minutes on, do a minute of burpees. That is a great way to just kind of mix up that breathing pattern, mix up those metabolic requirements so that your body's not getting too used to whatever cardio you're doing, okay? So really, if you need much more than that, put a comment below and I'll come up with something more, intricate for you. But other than that, this is a great place to start. So especially that tire drag. So right here at the bottom, and this is something I just these golden nuggets of knowledge, aerobic conditioning versus muscular endurance. Today, we want to emphasize more aerobic conditioning. Yesterday was more muscular endurance. What is the difference? Well, it comes down to a little bit more than this, but a nice, simple, in a nutshell explanation. Aerobic conditioning has more to do with your heart and lungs processing oxygen, getting rid of CO2, okay? That is the main thing with aerobic conditioning, while muscular endurance has a lot more to do with your localized muscles' ability to get rid of lactic acid so that it can continue to flex against a resistance that is not maximal, a sub-maximal resistance over and over and over again. Where the muscular endurance has a lot less to do, not nothing to do. Of course, your muscles are using oxygen, especially as you're getting into high reps. But the muscular endurance aspect of it has a lot more to do with getting rid of that lactic acid in the localized muscle, where the aerobic conditioning has a lot more to do with your body's ability to process oxygen, get rid of CO2 overall. One of the reasons that I love dragging a tire, it is a nice combination of both. Okay, you're getting the aerobic conditioning from having your heart rate up and having to breathe to keep up that level of exercise. But because you're getting resistance from the tire, you're also getting a lot of lactic acid buildup that has to be cleared from your legs. And that, one, improves your conditioning from both aspects, which is great, which is why tire dragging is one of the greatest GPP, general physical preparations, whatever exercises that you can do. And I think two, I think I was numbering it. Two, that's why it has such a great metabolic requirement. When you're using oxygen at a high level and you're having to clear lactic acid at a high level, you are burning calories at a high level. And what's great about tire dragging versus other things that are highly aerobic and highly acidic at the same time, this has a really low level of skill requirement and it is very low impact. Most other things that are highly aerobic and highly oh gosh, whatever. There's a scientific word that have high lactic acid. I'll think about it as soon as I finish recording. They normally have a high skill requirement and or they're high impact. So most people have to either spend a lot of time getting good at it before it gives you any benefit, or you just can't do it to begin with because you pull a hamstring or something. So anyway, so that's some really great stuff on conditioning day. If you've listened this far, I really appreciate it. Follow the page for all the free daily workouts and cool tips like I just gave you. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, or results, put them below and I'll make sure to get to them. I appreciate it and see you later. Hey guys, what's up? Coach Matt Magnum here, talking about the workout for Wednesday the 20th. Okay, it's a movement pattern day. We've got a strength emphasis. Okay, so we've done a movement pattern, muscular endurance emphasis, and a conditioning day. If you have done a lot of circuits and you are sore, then remember that either strength and therefore heavy is relative. Okay, so you don't have to go heavy according to whatever something said, just however you feel. Okay, so heavy relative for that day, or if you really think you should, you can always sub and come back later in the week and do something else, okay? But just don't be intimidated by it either way. So strength emphasis, squat, press, pull, and then you have optional core. Core is going to be optional a lot of the time because I don't know if you're doing it or not. So if you haven't gotten it in, get it in. If you have extra time, get it in. If you don't, then get it in later or earlier if you already got it in. If you already did it yesterday, don't do it again unless you really think you should. So squat, press, pull. We've talked about the movement patterns a lot already. Make sure you are mixing up your horizontal and vertical planes there. I'm not just pressing and pulling one way. I'm pressing and pulling horizontally, but I'm also pressing and pulling vertically. So make sure you're getting both of those movement planes in, and make sure that you are occasionally getting in either a front squat movement if you have the equipment, or a single leg movement either way. Some lunges or step ups, something like that. Anybody can do that. Well, modified, anybody can do that. But most of the time you should be doing both legs, just regular squats. Whether you do it with or without equipment, again, just make sure you're getting through the movement pattern, okay? So remember, even though it's strength emphasis, even though it is quote unquote relative heavy day, quality of movement over ego. So don't just load up the bar and you're dying over there just trying not to snap your spine in half. That's not what we're doing with this program. We want to emphasize consistency and building our fitness over time, not just coming in and destroying one workout, but oops, now I have to take 3 or 4 days off because I can't even sit down. All right? So quality movement over ego. So we are using slow tempo and even some isometric pauses there if you want to make a medium or moderate weight feel heavy, to make body weight exercises feel heavy. So always keep that in mind, that if any of this stuff feels too easy, you're probably not incorporating enough slow tempo or isometric pauses with your low reps. We want to emphasize lower reps. 3s and 5s are my favorite, especially if you have equipment. Okay, if you're using pure body weight exercises and without using an extreme variation that makes it incredibly difficult, then you might have to go higher than 3s and 5s, but you should still be using slow tempo and isometric pauses to make that more difficult. The perfect example, the regular body weight squat, if you get to a mid position where maximum tension is on the muscles, then hold that isometric pause 10, 20, 30 seconds, then stand up and start some slow tempo body weight squats. You're not going to be able to get nearly as many as if you started fresh. So you start with an isometric pause in the mid position, stand up, and go right into your slow tempo squats. That's going to make it feel much more heavy and give you that strength emphasis, okay? Again, you're not going to be a world championship power lifter doing slow tempo body weight squats, but you will get much stronger than just going from 10 to 20 to 30 to 50, where now again we're emphasizing muscular endurance, okay? So that is most of it. If you don't know what to do, if you're not sure what exercises to pick, ask me in the comments and I will address it with you. Otherwise, again, it's the traditional squat or front squat, kettlebell squat, goblet squat with a dumbbell, lunges, single legs, presses are your bench press, your push-ups, your dips, overhead military presses, your dumbbell presses, pulls, that's the one. Well, I guess if you have equipment, any kind of machine row, machine pull down, barbell row, dumbbell row, all that stuff, pull-ups, chin-ups, rope climbs if you have access to it. So there you go. I just rattled off a bunch of stuff you can do. So that is the strength emphasis. 3s and 5s for the most part. Slightly above that, 6 to 8. Once you get above that 10 to 12 range, again, you really need to think about, are you doing something that's hard enough? Are you incorporating those pauses and tempos enough? All right? So now, super cool, awesome new segment, right? New segment, Matt Magnum's Super Tip of the Day. Day. So here we got the difference, well, not the difference, but just some comments here. While I kind of touched on it a little bit ago, but muscle tension versus leverage, because this is something that will kill your gains in the gym. It will get you hurt. It will leave you on the sideline because you're ego lifting, using leverage instead of building muscle tension. Okay? Now here's the thing. When you use good form, there's a difference between good leverage and bad leverage. When you're using good form, there is some slight variations for how different people are built, an anatomically correct, biomechanically advantageous position to do every exercise. Okay, now whatever is good form for that exercise can change a little bit depending on what your goals are, but that's beyond the scope of what I'm talking about. When there is good form when you're doing these exercises, and when you're doing that, you're maximizing your body's natural biomechanical leverage to make lifting the weight easier. Okay, that is a good thing. Okay, and that will naturally, more than likely, unless you're doing something really wrong, but if you're doing things correct, that will normally maximize the muscle tension as well. That is a good thing. Maximizing the muscle tension is what stimulates growth. It's what tells your body that we need to make this muscle stronger, thicker, grow faster, whatever it might be, because it felt that tension. All that is good, okay? But also what happens is that your body is afraid of muscle tension because it doesn't know that you're at the gym just trying to work on your pecs for the beach that summer. It could think that you're dangling from a tree about to get ripped in half or something. I don't know, whatever. Just something dangerous is happening to your muscle because we feel tension. That's an emergency, and we don't like that. So what happens is, especially in new lifters, but then you get the guys that just never get over it, especially in the bench press. So this is what we're going to talk about. If I'm using good leverage in the bench press, I've got my shoulder blades squeezed together to give me a good foundation. I've got my elbows right under my hands, driving right through the bar. That way all the power and strength and force that I'm generating goes right into the bar in an efficient manner, right? that maximizes the muscle tension, that maximizes my biomechanical leverage. It makes me lift the weight better. But it feels scary. So what ends up wanting to happen is I want to start wiggling and moving and getting under the bar. And instead, I'm using bad leverage. I've taken the tension off of my muscles and I've put it on the support structures mostly of my tendons, ligaments, and bones in order to maximize their leverage in order to take out the real difficulty of lifting the weight. So now I'm using just this wiggling to get under the bar instead of squeezing and building my muscles. That is bad. Don't do that, okay? So that's super cool Matt Magnum's tip of the day. Now, the truth is, whatever is good form is going to take a lot of practice, is why I try and emphasize low skill exercises in the greatest resolution program ever, because then you're not worried about developing the skill, you're worried about putting the effort into the exercise, burning the calories, getting stronger. So if you have any questions about what good form is, again, put it in the comments and I'll answer it. But if you've listened this long, I appreciate it. Follow for free daily workouts and awesome, super cool tips like the super cool Matt Magnum, Coach Matt Magnum tip of the day. And, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And thanks for watching. See you next time. Oh, yeah. I said it twice already. So, yeah, put everything in the comments. See you later. Hey guys, what's up? Coach Matt Magnum here, talking about the workout for Thursday the 21st. It is a conditioning day, okay? So remember, there's nothing magical about any one workout, especially on conditioning day. We're just trying to burn calories, we're trying to get in shape, trying to lose weight. So there's nothing magical about any one given workout. I'm giving you guys a lot of choices here, but the main key is getting the heart rate up, maintaining a high relative difficulty to your skill level. So if you just think I got to get in shape, so I got to go run a mile, and you're dead 5 steps out of the door, you are trying to do something that's way beyond your relative skill set, or that's too high difficulty for your relative skill set. So don't feel like you have to do something in your mind that's a picture of like running a mile is a very good example. Well, if I just go run a mile, then that means I'm in shape, so I'll just try and go run a mile. Stick with something that is relative to your skill set. So I have our options set up a little bit differently today because conditioning day can get a little bit of repetitive. So I'm going to be dropping these golden nuggets as we go. You should definitely be mixing in your different types of conditioning here. So some options I have: GPP, General Physical Preparedness. This is something that a lot of normal people, a term that you may not be familiar with, but basically what that means is getting in shape to do the most general, vague task. Training for the most general, vague physical task. GPP, General Physical Preparedness. So some of the best things that you can do to prepare for any general physical task: dragging the tire, which is why I love it so much. Anything with a weighted vest, even if you just power walk around the neighborhood with a weighted vest, that adds a GPP element. I love combining my vest with my tire dragging. I haven't really mentioned that or talked about that much, but wear the weighted vest with the tire dragging, you get so much more out of it. And then weighted carries. The most famous would be the farmer's carry, where you have a dumbbell or something in either hand and you just go walk. But there's all kinds of various carries that you can add. Now, if you combine all three, my goodness, that is a metabolic bonfire right there. But again, just make sure if you try to do that, you're not going beyond your relative skill set. Okay, cardio, something we're a lot more familiar with. Basically, cardio is going to be most things that are steady state. That's what we think of when we're doing cardio. Running, biking, rowing, swimming, any of that stuff. It is a regular pace, a regular pattern. I repeat that same pace and pattern at a steady state for a long time. Okay, that is your steady state cardio. Most of us are pretty familiar with that. That's okay. And then more along the lines of conditioning, where we're including some more anaerobic elements with the aerobic elements of cardio. So the easiest things, sprints, intervals, and more sport-specific training. Not easy from difficulty, but choices, because sprinting is not easy. So make sure you're conditioned to sprint if that's what you're going to do, or maybe don't hit that top speed. Maybe you're sprinting at about 80-85% effort, where you're still getting that heart rate up, you're still getting a lot of the benefit, but you're not risking a tweaked hamstring every time you go out there to do it. Intervals, you just switch from one thing to another. Even if you take your steady state cardio, if you just run a lap and then bike a lap, run a lap, row a lap, go back and forth, that mixes up the pattern, mixes up the breathing, and adds a little bit more of a conditioning element. And then sport specific stuff. If you happen, again, like basketball, you could either go play basketball or you could do intense basketball drills to work on your game. I will be doing boxing. That's probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to get into that later. But just sport specific stuff. You play soccer or whatever, doesn't matter. Or if you're a weekend warrior or you used to do something back in the day and you just had fun and you want to try, I used to be a wrestler, and quite frankly, I started this whole thing last year just in my brain. What would I do? An easy version of an off-season wrestling program, and this is kind of where this started. So there you go, sport-specific stuff. So what I'm going to do, I give you guys a lot of options. If you want something specific, put it in the comments, and I'll discuss or converse with you. But what I'm going to do, some version of running and or dragging, depending on how sore my legs are after the squats today. I'm either going to run, I'm going to drag, or I will do some combination of both, but I do not want to wear myself out with that, because the meat and potatoes is going to be my boxing. I haven't gotten in enough boxing this week, but that's okay, because I've gotten in plenty of tire dragging, my muscular endurance work, all my other stuff. I haven't missed any days, but I just like to get in a little bit more boxing, so that's what I'm going to do tomorrow for my conditioning. I still want to drag, but I'm not going to let that take away from here. So remember, guys, get the heart rate up. It's relative difficulty, or it's difficulty relative to your skill level. 20 or 30 minutes most of the time, 30 to 40 minutes some of the time, occasionally, or as you get in better shape. All right? So if you got any questions, comments, concerns, results, put them below, and again, I'll converse with you. Otherwise, thanks for watching, guys. Follow the page for free daily workouts, all kinds of cool, sweet tips and tricks. All right? Till next time. See you guys later. Hey, guys. What's up? Coach Matt Magnum here, talking about the workout for Friday the 22nd. Friday. Woo! All right, so it is a flex day, so that means we have a few options. It is the end of the week. We've done a lot of stuff, and I have no idea how you specifically are feeling. So remember, this is about me giving you a framework, and then you using your own intuition and self-awareness to fill in the details of what you need to be doing on a daily basis. Okay, that is part of the journey of exercise. It's not just being given a list of things to do and then you just go check them off, 12 of this, 10 of that. Part of it is actually learning something about your body, becoming more intuitive about how your body is responding to this resistance and intentional stress we're putting upon it, so that you can become a better person yourself. So there you go. That's the golden nugget for today. Okay? So it may look on the surface that we're just going conditioning, movement pattern, back and forth, but again, I expect that you're substituting some of these days, and on the movement pattern days, we're going back and forth between a strength emphasis and a muscular, a muscular endurance emphasis. And I expect that you're not always going to do the one that I'm talking about that day. If it's a strength emphasis and you're really sore, then maybe you just bang out sets of 50 air squats. But anyway, so the point is, by the end of the week, today and tomorrow, we're going to have a few more options as far as what we should be doing. It should be more about doing something based on how we feel after the week's worth of work, and how we should fill in the gaps of what we have not done yet. So that's the two things you want to think about. How do I feel based on what I have done, and what do I need to make sure that I do that I have not gotten to yet? So if you're not very sore, if you're just not very sore, if you're wondering what in the world I'm talking about, then it is a movement pattern day, either a strength emphasis or a muscular endurance emphasis. Again, if you're just not really sore and you have access to a bunch of equipment, then I suggest a strength emphasis. But that can change depending on, again, what equipment you have access to currently and just what your goals are in general. If you are just not a very strong person, then doing sets of bodyweight squats and push-ups is good strength work. So, so that can change based on just your personal situation. So movement pattern day, in general, that's squatting, pressing, pulling. If you have equipment, if you're not very sore, strength emphasis. If you're a little more sore or you don't have much equipment, muscular endurance emphasis. If you are sore, then another conditioning day. We just did a conditioning day yesterday. I said I was going to run and or drag within a boxing emphasis. I was pretty sore yesterday. I had kind of an all-day headache, not sure why. Did not feel like doing the boxing. I did a 2.6 mile run. I was happy to do that. My time improved. I was excited. I punched the bag about 5 times. I said, screw it. I went inside and I was just happy that I got that done. So today, I'm going to be doing a little bit more, but so yesterday was my sore day. I feel much better today, so I'm going to attack the day-to-day a little bit harder. But if you are sore today, then you can do another conditioning day. Again, tire drag, steady state cardio, interval type stuff, all kinds. If you need extra ideas, let me know. If you are very sore, if you're like dying today, then some kind of active recovery, a hike or a bike ride or a yoga session, a game of basketball. I keep saying that, but it's true. Whatever. Just something that is active recovery. Get up, move around, walk around. That's where maybe if you have the vest, you power walk with the vest on, but maybe you don't drag the tire or carry dumbbells. Today is a very good day for accessories or core work. We've talked about the core work. I've already given you some optional days where you could have done it. If you did it on those days, then worry more about accessories. If you have not done it yet, then today's a good day to get that core work in. And I guess that would give me a good time to talk about accessories. How do I pick out what accessories to do? Well, one, if you have any particular body part that you would like to work on, then today's the day to do it. If your shoulders aren't very good, then we do pressing, but today's the day you could do some lateral raises. If you want your arms to be bigger, today's the day you could do some curls and some tricep stuff. But beyond just what you would like to look better, think back to your movement pattern days and think about which muscle groups give you the most trouble. When you're doing your squats, what's giving out first? Is it your quads? Is it your butt squeezing out of the bottom? Is it your hamstring stabilizing on the way down? When you're doing your pressing, your push-ups, are your pecs on fire? Are your pecs fine, but your triceps are giving out on the lockout? Think about those things. Which muscle groups are giving out first? And then today is the day to get a little extra work on that. So if you're doing your bench presses and you're just blowing it off your chest, but then you're having trouble locking it out, you need a little bit more tricep work, okay? If you can't get it off your chest, then maybe you need a little bit more, chest and pressing work, whatever that would be. We could talk about that all day, and then I'll ramble if I start talking about how to fix your bench press. But that's where you trouble spot weak muscles. So anyway, so think about what works for you today. Look back on some of the previous workouts for ideas. If you need additional ideas, down there in the comments. Any questions, comments, concerns, or results, post it below and I'll get to it. Thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate you checking this stuff out. And follow the page for more free daily workouts and cool tips and stuff. Have a great weekend. See you guys later. Hey guys, what's up? Coach Matt Magnum here. talking about the workout for Saturday the 23rd. So we're finally at the end of the week. Exciting times. So we've done a lot. We've gone through all our movement patterns. We've done all our conditioning stuff. So yesterday we had a flex day. So today's a little bit like that, but there are some differences. So it's more of a makeup day. So if there were any workouts that you missed during the week, now's the time to make them up. If you took a day off earlier in the week, if you needed a day off, that's fine. If something came up, it happens. That's life. So if you missed something earlier in the week, go ahead and make that up today. Okay? If you hit everything this week, if you did everything, then you can make up your own workout based on all the stuff that I've given you so far. If you need ideas and options, let me know in the comments. We'll go over it. If there was a workout this week that you particularly liked, if there was something that you particularly enjoyed, you can repeat it. Okay? So make up a missed workout. You can repeat a workout that you liked. You can make up your own workout based on how you feel after this week. If you're not very sore, then maybe you need another strength day. If you're incredibly sore, then we got options there too. But just think about what you need after this week's work, and you can make up your own thing. And then finally, if you are sore, we've got active recovery and especially long, slow distance. So I've given you a lot of options for active recovery, and that still fits today. You can do any of your active recovery stuff. Does not matter whether you're gardening in the yard or just walking around the neighborhood. Does not matter. Whatever you do, just do something to get your heart rate, move around, shake off some of that rust. You could also do something that is a long, slow distance, probably run or bike or whatever. I did this earlier in the week at some point. I was kind of feeling off on one of the conditioning days, I think it was, and I ended up just doing a slow jog for almost 4 miles. Now, 4 miles is a longer distance for me, but I ran it at a slow pace, so I knew the entire time that I would make it. That is definitely something that is very helpful on occasion to counterbalance all the short, high-intensity stuff, or even the more moderate distances that you're doing closer to what your actual pace is. This is something designed to allow you to go farther than you normally could. I don't just go out and go for 4-mile runs on a regular occasion. That does not happen. But because I did it slow distance, and I did it occasionally, it actually benefited me and helped me out a lot this week. So anyway, but that's pretty much it. That's Saturday. So if you got any questions, comments, concerns, results, talk about it post it below, and I'll hop in there and go over it with you, talk with you, whatever. Follow the page. You get free daily workouts and awesome, cool fitness, exercise, nutrition tips from me, Coach Matt Magnum. All right. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Later.